Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show, member of the Pod Bros Podcast Network. Don't forget to go to podbros.com and find yourself another podcast that you want to listen to. And check out our sponsors, Trap and Roll Soap Company. Use code BEEFSQUATCH, BEEFSQUATCH, to get some money off an order. Tape Armor, and don't forget to check out our other sponsor, Rollers Gear. I'm Rob, and just got back from the beach, and I'm kind of feeling just maybe a little sunburnt, but that's okay. Nothing too major, but I had a good time talking to Randy about training at the beach, as well as possibly, we've always talked about not training with injuries. We talk about what to do when you're injured, and possibly not drinking beer and playing video games, but we're both guilty of it anyway. So if you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe to us, give us a rating, a good rating, review us on iTunes, and then hope you guys enjoy this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. I'm Rob.
I'm Randy.
We're back at it again. Another week's done. Dude, the way my job works, the way the weekends roll, kind of fucks me up a bit, because my weekends are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday right now if I have a short weekend, and then Sunday through Wednesday if I have a long weekend. So I don't get to enjoy Friday or Saturday.
I'm kind of the opposite. I usually work weekends, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Sometimes Tuesday, depending on the schedule. So a little bit different schedule, but it is different when you work the weekend and then your days off are weekdays.
Yeah, it truly fucks me up. So we had oh yeah, that was one thing I wanted to tell you about. We had a housewarming party on Saturday, and you didn't show up, and that's okay. And no, because you work on that day, I get it. But we did it right after work, and it was the first ever house party we've thrown. It was also the first time we've banned somebody from our house. So we had an individual. They showed up. Now, mind you, these are a lot of people I work with, had some family, had some friends over, and then Chelsea had some people that she worked with come over. And I won't tell you out of which party this person was from, but we had a person come over, and they drank quite a bit, and then we just let them crash in the guest room. And what was it? I'm trying to think of the best way to describe how we figured it out. Well, they weren't there in the morning, right? And they had the sheets balled up and thrown in the corner of the room, and vomit all over the side of the mattress, the box frame, and the floor. And they just pretty much dipped out after just puking everywhere. And now, granted, almost everybody's been there, man. Like, we've been sick and we can't really help it, especially if you've had, a few to drink. That's okay. Nobody's judging you here.
Nope.
But the fact that you ran out without even a message, and that I think that bothered me the most. And then on top of that, when Chelsea actually confronted that person, because I was knee deep in taking care of a dog, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. # worst friend ever." I was like, your fucking response is a hashtag.
Yeah.
And so I said, tell them they're never fucking coming back to my house. Eat shit. So mad, dude.
That's almost as bad as. No, I'll say it's right on par. That is right on par with picking up with somebody with a hashtag. Like, # it's over.
Are we fucking 12 years old? Just use your words.
Just because you put a hashtag in front of it doesn't decrease the impact of the situation.
No, it actually made it even worse. Even worse.
# douchebag.
I legitimately thought about it all week, and I'm like, what type of person would I have been? Because I've had friends too, like not my own house, and just make a mess, and I've made a mess too. But it's also like I'm actively working on cleaning it up while I can't even stand up because I'm so sick or whatever. But just dip out and ball up my shit. Fuck you. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, that was the low light of my weekend. The highlight though was I did get to go down to Nag's Head to OBX Martial Arts. Rick runs it down there. Is really, 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 really solid pro belt. The guy should be a damn brown belt. And a buddy of mine, Charles Harriet, taught a leg lock class out there. So I got an opportunity to go hang out with them. And then me and Charles road trip back from Outer Banks to Fayetteville so I could drop him off in the very nice but very sketchy bus station that Fayetteville has. So,
well, it's a bus station. First of all, that's. Second of all, it's in Fayetteville. That's the other part of it. So of course it's going to be shady as hell.
Now, I will say this: there were some real. So it was kind of like the downtown, like artsy fartsy type area. So they had like, he was like, "Is there anywhere you can drop me off?" I was like, yeah, let me take a look. Like I pulled up a coffee shop. I'm like, shit, this place looks familiar. And they have what was it? I think it was Rude Awakening. Great coffee shop, by the way. And we drove by it, and it was in the afternoon, so of course it's closed. So there was another place. I dropped them off, and it looked fine. Like the whole area was fine. It was just like that area, like you could throw a rock and it might be a little sketch, but like where he was at, he was fine.
I remember being stationed in Fayetteville, so I'm familiar with how one block is okay, and then next block you're in the third world country all of a sudden.
It was kind of that way with Durham. I remember doing a kickboxing tournament out in Durham. We were looking for it. It was like this really nice, like no shit. Like they had the little arts and crafts come over and try it out type thing. And then one block later, it was. I remember telling my buddy, we got to turn around. We cannot be here. We got to fucking turn around. We're gonna get killed.
Durham is definitely like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's intriguing when you go into a town like that. As a matter of fact, the town that I started as a police officer in was very much that way on a smaller scale than Durham, but. Yeah. It was definitely, one block was good, another block was just pure shit. So what? Let me ask you this about Outer Banks. Did you get a chance to go to the Outer Banks brewing station?
No,
I missed out, man.
I showed up, so I was like, I'm gonna take my time. That's the cool part. I've got a 3-day weekend. I'm gonna take my time. So I drove out there, stopped along the way. I'm trying to remember like what I did. I think there was some like random deli I had a sandwich at. That was kind of cool just to get this like hole in the wall mom and pop sandwich. It was kind of cool. But then I drove to where OBX Martial Arts is, or Outer Banks Martial Arts, whatever you want to call it, I guess. And I was like, oh shit, here it is. Cool. Let me just see if Charles is here, because I poked my head in. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, hey, is Charles here? And I'm somebody you don't even know. But no, I messaged Charles. He came out, and we went and got a smoothie and walked on the beach. It was the most romantic bro date I've ever been on in my life. Picked up seashells. Everybody stared at us. It was fucking great. I was like, yeah, they think we're together. And that's cool with me, because Charles is definitely the one who wears the pants in that relationship, as has been made apparent by the last few times we roll. But then we got to go train, and we left kind of mid-morning, went and got some breakfast, and then we shot back towards Raleigh, went to the art museum, because, the bro date just cannot end. And then I dropped them off in Fayetteville, which was weird, because actually, if you drive from Outer Banks to Raleigh to Fayetteville, it takes like 30 minutes less than just going Outer Banks to Fayetteville.
That is pretty crazy. I wouldn't think that'd be the case.
I did not think it either. But
what was it from Raleigh to the Outer Banks? About 4.5 hours?
No, it was actually like 3.5 hours.
Ah,
so like right there off of Blue Ridge by where the old movie theater used to be. Where the hell did that go?
I don't know.
Jesus, man, it's depressing. Like I think half the trip through Raleigh, Charles was just hearing me go, "Gee, where the fuck did that go?" I sound like my dad now. Like, oh, this place used to be farmland. Now there's a Target here. Like, that's what I'm turning into.
Back in my day.
Yeah. There used to be a guy named Jim who lived here, and he was a farmer, and he only raised tobacco. And, that's what I'm turning into, because also drove down, like, Hillsborough Street one point. Like, this is where, the brewery used to be. We used to play, our ska band used to play here, and we play shows with punk rock bands, and it was great. And I don't know why I have a southern accent talking about it, but I just do.
I don't know. I'm a little confused by that myself, but I do agree. I do agree that it's a little humbling when you're not the youngest guy in the room anymore. And on that same note, I can tell you that you feel even older when you finally suffer the dreaded back injury.
Oh fuck! I do, because I know you told me about it. And I will say I did have a little bit of sympathy pain yesterday. I was like, "Ooh, my back hurts."
Yep, you were feeling it for me, man.
So how you dealing with it, man?
It's frustrating, and I feel kind of like a baby a little bit. My girlfriend's been giving me shit because I've gone from, in my defense, I've gone from being the type of person that always has something to do. I'm very physical. I'm always working out. I'm doing jiu-jitsu or kickboxing, or I'm doing my job as a police officer or teaching classes. I'm always on the go. And then all of a sudden, it's just cold turkey, stop. You're doing nothing. And so that's the hardest part about this whole thing is I just do not do well sitting still with nothing to do and getting restless and homesick. Or not homesick, I guess would be the wrong term. What do you call it?
Like stir crazy?
Fever.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Just losing my mind being in the same environment all the time. So it happened. I was doing some weight training. And I pride myself in being one that focuses on technique and executing the moves correctly. But, it can happen to anybody. And unfortunately, apparently, it was my time, whether it was a lack of recovery because of all the things I'm doing. But it's a low back, down almost to the tailbone, kind of near L4, L5 area of your spine. I felt something pull, and I had to walk my hands up my legs to stand up straight. And so it's been a pretty rough go. I'm still going through the process with work to get it taken care of because it happened at work. But it's not fun. It's not fun. Lots of ibuprofen. I'm using a mobile TENS unit to try to help with some of the pain management.
Yes.
But I think it's something, something that everybody, listeners can relate to. In a sport like jiu-jitsu, it's just it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to suffer an injury, and then how do you recover from it, how do you bounce back. So
yeah, and I know we've talked about on the show before, mainly like, don't roll while injured. Well, I don't think we ever talked about, well, what should you do while you're injured? Because it's, look, we all, I don't take my advice like well at all. Like I'm, the whole hey, if you compete and lose, don't feel bad because you tried your best. And I go out there and I go lose a match. I'll be like, Rob, you're fucking garbage at jiu-jitsu. I still can't take my own advice. Same thing. It's like, hey, you're injured. Don't roll because you're injured. And I go, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna roll. It'll be okay. What could go wrong? And it gets worse. So like that part, just listen to what we say. I am doing a lot better. So I injured my back last year, and I took for me, because of I've had like a reoccurring issue with my lower back, I kind of took like maybe a month and a half off and then kind of eased my way back into it. Whereas, like sore shoulder, dislocated finger, you're just like, yeah, whatever, man, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then you just hurt it even worse. So I kind of want to I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, and that's something, I feel like the three areas that worry me the most when it comes to injuries, honestly, are shoulders, knees, and back. Because now if it's just a little tweak on your shoulder, we all know that. If somebody puts a Kimura on you and you wait a little bit too long to tap and it just gets a little bit overstretched and you're like, all right, I'll take it easy on that for a week and it'll be okay. That's different. I'm talking about legitimate injuries. When you injure one of those three areas, those are ones that they become chronic very quickly because of how much we use them on an everyday basis in addition to the strain that gets put on them in jiu-jitsu. I mean, think about how much work your knees, your shoulders, and your back get in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then depending on your line of work, if you're military or like me in law enforcement or a firefighter, then you're increasing that load even more that you're putting on your shoulders, your back, and your knees. And so those are the areas that worry me because I'm 33. I'm still relatively young, but I'm not 21 anymore either. And so the recovery is a little bit different. And this is where this is where injuries start to become chronic, is where I'm at right now in my age range, you know?
Yeah.
So how did you, let me ask you, when you had your back injury, and you were out for about a month and a half, you said, what was it like coming back after a month and a half? What was your technique like? What was the conditioning like? Everything?
Oh, conditioning, I'll tell you right now, straight garbage. And the only way to get better cardio at rolling, like pure cardio rolling, is just to roll more.
Right.
So when you take that away, you can do like, you could jog, or you can do like, the bike or whatever. And depending upon like how your back's feeling, that might be out of the question. So I started doing rowing. And rowing seemed to help a bit, but at the same time, like now I'm leaning forward and rocking back, so I can only do so much versus like, straight like on my back in guard trying to fight, Big John or Stephanie off of me. It was more
Right.
of like I would still teach technique, and I would preface the class, because like one of the things that like really kills me is that if I teach a class and I gotta be like, guys, I can't roll, I'm sorry, like, not because I'm ducking you, but also because I'm trying to recover. And I know what's going to happen. And they all laugh because, like we trained for a while together, and they know that like if they roll too, then they're like, oh shit, we're going to crank it up. And then I'm trying to do like, inverted arm bars and shit like that, and X guard sweeps and shit. And, my back's all jacked up, and I go home and Chelsea's like, what in God's name did you do? You said you wouldn't roll. I was like, yeah, but man, Dylan really wanted to roll, and I need to roll with him. But it's more of you got to be disciplined with it, man. And you just got to let your body do it. So, like, after that month and a half, getting back into it, I would actually talk to each person I rolled with. I was like, hey, look, here's the deal. Back's acting up. I'm really not going to try to, like, kill you or whatever. If you beat me up, I'm okay with that because, like, it's better for me to just start moving slow and then get back into it. But of course, a little bit of my caveman side came out, and it had to like either wrist lock somebody or, collar choke them or something. But the timing's a little off too, which I found interesting, even for a month and a half. But it also felt like things fell into place more because in that month and a half, you don't get to roll. You think about like all these things you want to do, and then you like,
Right.
Then like maybe, through visualization or just kind of branching out in different paths in your mind, you do find something that like you try and shit just clicks. It's really weird. So there's like a balance. It's hard to explain. Like I don't know, maybe if there's a science behind it. I know I'm trying to think of who it was I was talking about, like the week before a tournament, he doesn't let his guys roll. He just gets them, I think it might have been Dan Henderson talking about training his guys. He said like he won't let them not train, but like do jiu-jitsu for a week. So when they go to a tournament, they're like, fuck yeah, I want to do jiu-jitsu. I'm ready for it. And they go in there and they're hungry for it.
I can see that, and I think we've all had the experience before where you miss a few days of training, maybe you go on vacation or something, or you have a family get together that takes precedence, and you come back and you feel better, like you're killing it on the mat. Your timing is good. You're trying new techniques that you haven't tried in a while. I think sometimes you get stuck in a little bit of a loop in your training. So I could definitely see the value in that, and I'm hoping that's what will happen. What I actually did was I went on BJJ Fanatics. You familiar with that website?
Yes, I am.
And they had a special on a Tom DeBlas half card series, and been working a little bit on my half card anyway. And so I purchased it. It was like $47 or something, and started watching it. And I saw a lot of things that I could take and fill some little gaps in my half guard game. And so I'm trying to take notes on those so I don't forget. Because that's my fear, is that if I'm out for 4 weeks and I see this material, I'm just going to forget about it. So, hopefully, like you said, that'll be the experience that I'll have to go back, and then you'll have these new pathways in your mind. And I expect the conditioning to suck, though. I totally expect that.
Like, I think something that, and this is my huge mistake on and off the mat, is like, if you're off the mat with an injury, it's not time to go to Taco Bell, dude. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like,
True. True.
Yeah, that is because I sympathy eat, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sad, I can't do jiu-jitsu. Oh, wings, fuck yeah, let's have wings. Or I'll have a beer or two. But then it's okay to do that when you're training like 2 hours a night, or you wake up in the morning, you hit a good set, and then later that evening you get like a good no-gi class in. As long as you're moving, but like you can't do the same stuff and like maintain that weight. So then now you're adding on like I guess Christmas weight all the time. And I mean shit, man, I've been in the bulking stages for the past, when was the last PT test? August. Yeah, fuck it, 10 months. We're in the bulking stages right now. So no, but yeah, I think that, and then like I honestly I watched a lot of video. Like any jiu-jitsu, like Jason Scully, Kurt Osiander. Wish Andrew Smith had his video series out. That would have made life a lot easier.
I definitely want to watch a lot of rolls too. I feel like that'll be beneficial.
Yeah.
Sometimes watching rolls, because I think unless it's a technique that you already understand at a deep level, it's hard to learn a new technique just by watching it.
Yeah.
At least for me, some people learn like that. I have to be able to do it physically in order to really get it. But I could definitely see conceptually picking up on things, watching some rolls and watching some different videos. That's what I'm going to be doing. I agree with you. I'll be doing a lot of that. Admittedly, I have been drinking a little bit more, but not because of the back injury, but because I'm not on call for my SWAT responsibilities while I'm injured. And so I get to enjoy the finer tastes a little bit more than usual. So.
No, I understand that. That's why it was kind of funny when I was like, or you asked like, hey, when do you want to do the episode? I said, well, when are you free? You're like, whenever. I was like, shit, man, it's before 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm down.
Exactly. I mean, when is that ever a thing?
Yeah.
I'm drinking. I am currently sipping on Appleton Estates rum while we're doing this episode.
Ooh.
And yeah, I mean, why not, right?
You did bust out the fancy stuff for me, so I feel honored. I did have a Boddington Ale, which is, I guess, a British pub ale, and had it in one of my nice pint glasses, and I felt all fancy. So we were having a very fancy podcast night. But, that's like the pitfall sometimes you got to be careful of. And, like, I don't know.
I agree, but I can see that building on you if you start to feel sorry for yourself and you start to give in to some of the poor decisions nutritionally, and then that just compounds the issue of conditioning once you do go back, because now you've ate like shit for 4 weeks. I'm trying to maintain body composition. I'm trying to maintain as much fitness as I can, and I'm trying to look at it with kind of a stoic perspective in that, all right, I can't do what I want to do, but there's other areas in my life now that I can take the time to address, so I can make a negative into some type of positive.
Okay.
And that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm doing a little bit more reading. I'm watching these videos. I'm actually thinking about, I don't think I can learn how to play the guitar in 4 weeks, but I'm thinking about picking up a guitar and trying to learn a few notes on that in the course of my time that I have to just chill out. Just trying to find different things to do to occupy my mind. But I second what you're saying, though, especially to listeners that might be dealing with injuries. Is it's very easy to pop an anti-inflammatory or an acetaminophen and block the pain and go train, but it's just going to lengthen. At the end of the day, it's just going to lengthen your recovery time that much more. What I want to do, and this is something else we can discuss, is I'm looking at potentially changing the way that I train when I get back to 100%.
Okay.
Not necessarily jiu-jitsu wise, but fitness wise. Supplementing jiu-jitsu with additional fitness training, be that recovery or weight training or whatever. So my old way of training, how I ended up in this predicament, I was doing Wendler 531, which is a lifting program, and progressively trying to increase the weight that I was lifting, get stronger each time. And that was my accessory to jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. And so now what I'm doing is I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, what are my priorities? My priorities are my profession of law enforcement and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So whatever training I do should be beneficial, not in detriment to those two things. And so I'm trying to research some different training methods where I can still work out, maintain a level of fitness and strength, but that is conducive to improving in jiu-jitsu.
I know there's got to be some lifting programs out there, specifically for grapplers or something like that. For me, like, I'll lift occasionally, but like I really, really, really enjoy like body weight exercises and mobility drills for jiu-jitsu. I'm not talking about like I'm out there running a ladder because I'd rather just go to my bedroom and blow my brains out as opposed to like run a ladder back and forth constantly. But that's usually what there has to be something out there for lifting. And dude, if you're a listener and you know about the lifting, hook Randy up, please.
Well, let me ask you this. You'd mentioned before, so I do what I used to do, and I admittedly slacked ass and fell out of when I got sick earlier in the year. No excuses. I slacked ass. It is what it is. Was yoga, and I was specifically I was following Yoga for BJJ, which is a very good program, and I felt fantastic in terms of recovery, mobility. My jiu-jitsu got better positionally. Everything seemed to improve on it. So I am back to that. Obviously, I'm limited on what poses I can do with my back the way it is.
Yeah.
But I'm back to doing that. But similar to that, you had mentioned, was it gymnastica?
Yeah. It was. It's not something that somebody has like formally introduced me to. So to give you kind of the very shortened version of the long story. One of the ways I wanted to make sure I could still move around and stuff, and one of my friends said, dude, just fucking watch this video. It was James Hardiman, by the way, so he talks like that. He's like, fucking watch the video, see what he's doing, and then you just do the same thing. I'm like, okay, cool. So it's a lot of like rolls and then kind of animal movements, and it's eventually you're they have some of them have like a routine, but eventually you're supposed to be able to do each of these moves and kind of chain them together so you're not like stopping. So like I'll do the shoulder to shoulder roll until like kicking the leg out and bringing it back, and all the cool mobility drills you do at the beginning of jiu-jitsu in certain classes, but then you just put them all together and you kind of like freestyle it.
Is that so? Have you ever seen Salo Ribeiro do a warm-up?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what he does, man.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I know he's got a sequence of moves that he has his class to learn. They do in the beginning of their classes all the time, and they kind of chain together similar to what you're talking about. So they'll do like the sit-out drill and the collapsing hips and forward roll, backward roll, but it's not the traditional martial arts Aikido forward roll. It's like a dead stop forward roll, and backward roll from like just a laid out position. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was something like that. I just looked it up. But pretty much like I think the Gracies were big on it, but like for me, it just kind of it helps me stay mobile. It helps me stay fluid. It helps me stay limber. Because being a big dude doing jiu-jitsu, one of the downfalls of big guy jiu-jitsu is very similar to the downfalls of big guy high school wrestling. Is usually both people will grab each other and then they'll fall on the ground, and then like whoever's on top wins. Whereas I really, really, really hate that that stereotype. Like there's big guy jiu-jitsu and there's little guy jiu-jitsu. I do pride myself on the fact that I can pull off some little guy moves.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like the only thing that helps with that is maintaining flexibility, maintaining mobility, and just kind of, I guess, maybe abandoning that whole, this is a big guy move, this is a small guy move. So like doing that, I don't know how it would feel on your lower back, but like for me, it's a very low impact, just good. Like I feel, I guess for lack of a better term, warm all over when I get some good rolls going. I'm like, oh, that chained together really well. And, the whole point is not to stop. It's just kind of be like, okay, I'm in this position. What can I do next? Oh, I could just sit out and I can go right back into a backwards roll and then, do like a wrestling shot. Like, it's kind of incorporates stuff that you normally do. So it's.
Yeah. I wonder if that'd be good. I'm looking more at doing stuff like that after I recover, That's what I was getting at was, I wonder if that'd be a good thing to include in my routine. So,
yeah. And you don't need anybody to do it with. That's the best part too. Is like, even if you want to drill like armbar entries with like, you still need a grappling dummy to really, really, really get like the what was it, the kind of the benefit of it. I mean, you can do like the movement to like changing positions, but dude, there's a whole heck of a lot you can do by yourself to help, and it does help, but nothing ever beats just rolling with somebody to drop some.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Very nice. So, minimum 4 weeks is what you said, right?
That's what I was told. Still kind of in limbo on that, but that's kind of what's been recommended to me, is about a 4-week break from jiu-jitsu, all-out jiu-jitsu training. I can do movements that don't hurt it, so right now I'm kind of limited to side planks, push-ups, pull-ups, step-ups below 90 degrees. That's about it right now that I've figured out that doesn't hurt it. So
Yikes.
we'll see. I don't think, nobody thinks it's a disc, thankfully, just because I don't have a lot of the accompanying symptoms like numbness in the legs or tingling in the legs or shooting pains in the legs or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all pretty local to that low back spot. The weird part is how low on the back it is. I've never had an issue that low on the low back. I think everybody's had the aches and pains, where you maybe overarch a little bit on a lift or something, and then your low back hurts a little bit, basically on the opposite side of your core. But this is awkwardly low, So it's an odd place to have pain, and it affects a lot of weird things. Basically, anytime you hip hinge, you know what I mean when I say that? Like,
I do.
That anytime a hip hinge, it causes pain and discomfort. Putting on shoes is an absolute nightmare. You'd probably laugh your ass off at me if you saw me putting shoes on.
Nah, probably not, because I've been there too.
So I officially feel old now at 33, but 4 weeks, I'm losing my mind. I'm envious of all the listeners that get to train jiu-jitsu every day. Can't wait to get back in on the mats. But, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for almost 10 years, and this is the first time I've hurt my back in jiu-jitsu, so that's pretty damn good, I think.
That's actually really good. It seems like everybody either has super shitty knees or super shitty back, so
I guess I shouldn't even say in jiu-jitsu, because I didn't hurt it doing jiu-jitsu. I hurt it lifting, but, still, I've gone this long without any substantial back injuries in all the training I've been doing, so I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah,
it's a good run, real good run.
All good things come to an end.
Yeah, man. Still we get injured occasionally. It's okay. So before we head out, do you have anything you'd like to say to our friends? I'm going to start calling them friends. I'm really going to stop say listeners to our friends.
Listeners or guests. I think you and I have both referred to them as guests at one point. Well,
guests.
They are guests. They're guests. They're guests in our podcast home of Big Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
But no, same as always. I still want to. I haven't heard anything from any listeners yet. I'm still looking to hear some stuff. Any suggestions on a topic they want to hear? Anything that they're looking for information on? I've got a few guests in mind that I'd like to try to pull on here. It's just a matter of making it work. But if anybody else has any recommendations or feels like they'd be a good guest and has something they want to speak about, hey, reach out to us and we'll definitely give it a solid consideration. So,
word. I will interrupt, or I'll add on to that and say we will literally take anybody, and I hate that word, literally. We will take damn near anybody. Like, a suggestion if you want to be on the show. Do not bombard me with messages and then say me and so are ready to record in the next hour. I will kind of politely tell you to fuck off because I've got other shit to do. But yeah, however, if you want to, hit us up. Like, we don't mind, man. We will talk to anybody because it's not just like, having the high rank guys on here are real cool and everything, but we kind of want to hear about you, man. Not everybody is the world champ. Everybody has their own little issues they deal with, and that's kind of one of the reasons we interview anybody we can, because everybody's got an interesting story, in my opinion.
Oh, not only that, but that's one of the central concepts of jiu-jitsu is that you can always learn from somebody, no matter what the belt rank. We all have experienced different things in this life of jiu-jitsu that we've chosen, and we can all learn something from somebody, and it shows, especially with this whole leg lock fad going on right now in jiu-jitsu. There are blue belts and purple belts that would wax my ass in leg locks.
Oh yeah.
And I can learn from them, and I'd be happy to humble myself and do so. So yeah, absolutely, I agree. I think it's the same thing with listeners. If you got something that you can bring to the table, and you got something that people want to hear, let's do it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Hit us up. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for listening to the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. Member of the Podbros Podcast Network. Don't forget to go to podbros.com and find yourself another podcast you want to listen to. And don't forget to check out our sponsors, Strap and Roll Soap Company. Use the code Beef Squatch. That's BEEFSQUATCH to get some money off your order. And they got some good stuff on there, like the Jiu-Jitsu shirt. You know all about that. We've talked about many times. Tape Armor and Rolls Gear. Check those guys out for some other cool accessories and hats and stuff like that. And check out all of our old episodes at bjjshow.com. Buy a shirt, man. Support the podcast. We need money. I'm gonna be that guy. Damn it, we need money to run the show, and I don't mind paying for it. But man, it helps. Every little bit helps. So I'm Rob.
I'm Randy.
And we'll catch you guys next time.